these are the tasks that are easy to hand off. The first one's going to be tasks that you can hand off over the phone. Second one's going to be tasks for your leasing department. And third one is day-to-day property management administrative tasks. So leasing calls, all of our virtual assistants have gone through an original 6 hours of fair housing training, so they know what they're allowed to say and what they're not allowed to say to keep everybody out of hot water. And they'll go through regular update courses for as long as they are working for you through us to make sure that always stays top of mind. When it comes to mainline calls, they're going to be able to go a step above the call center because this person is dedicated to you full time. So the more experience they have with you, navigating your management software, navigating your processes and procedures, answering frequently asked questions, the more they'll actually be able to help the caller versus just escalating them to your in-house team. Follow-up calls on applications, renewals, e-signatures, leads. They can do follow-up calls, texts, and emails on all of these situations. Business development follow-ups. I don't recommend having your virtual assistant close books of business for you by any means, but if somebody's inquired about your management services and then they don't get back to you, they haven't been responding, just have your VA do consistent follow-up calls, texts, and emails to get them back in front of your business development manager. When it comes to maintenance and repair calls, any of our virtual assistants can handle the logistics administrative part of maintenance coordination, closing out work orders, following up with tenants after work's done to make sure things are going well, gathering quotes from possible vendors. All that stuff's easy. If you're looking for somebody to be on the front line, field a call, and troubleshoot a maintenance situation in real time without an escalation, that is a special placement. We'll just need to know that up front so we can make sure we get you somebody with the correct maintenance experience. Logistic calls, follow-ups with utility companies, HOAs, code enforcements, home warranties, all these big industries that love parking you in front of hold music for long periods of time. Let your VA call and navigate their call menus and give and get updates as needed. And if you feel the need to be on once they get a rep on the phone that we provide them with has three-way capability, so they can loop you in for the meat and potatoes of a conversation, but you're not having to navigate their whole phone system. Ways they can assist your leasing department. So updating listing templates. At our management office in South Florida, we have one of our virtual assistants routinely go through as we get notice to vacate or notice or non-renewals. We will have this team member go ahead and look at the listings in our management software and make sure that they're ready for posting as soon as they're become available. So that could be anything from updating the descriptions to make sure that they're all in line with any new fair housing updates. It could be updating, letting our field agent know that we need more marketing photos, but just keeping an eye on what's coming down the field to make sure that all of our listings are ready to be posted. Managing leads that come in via phone, email, text, social media. We have training on how to process applications in all of the major property management softwares. So we not only provide that training, but we also provide a tenant screening checklist, which is a spreadsheet that has calculated formulas where you can input your approval criteria and then have your VA go ahead and process the application, everything from debt to income ratios to following up with previous landlords for rental verification, following up with employers for income verification, and then they'll put all of the results of the application screening in this tenant screening checklist, which will spit out a recommended course of action. Then they'll color code any of the results as they relate to your approval criteria, green, yellow, and red, based on risk. So your in-house team member can look at the final results, all color-coded, do any extra diving in that they're curious about, and then approve or modify the recommended results. We can also do contract prep for leases, management agreements, renewals, non-renewals, rent increases, and follow up for those as well. Removing listings from syndicate sites to avoid wasted labor on units already rented. So Zillow, Craigslist, all these syndicate sites, sometimes they can take up to 2 or 3 business days to pull a listing off after you've already rented it. So avoid upsetting people when they inquire about a unit that's already rented. Avoid the wasted labor hours answering calls on a unit that's not available anymore, and have your VA just go ahead and take those down manually. Ways they can assist in day-to-day property management. Time management is a big one. At our own management office, we have our virtual assistants log in an hour before our in-house team, and among their first responsibilities is organizing our property managers' email inboxes. What this looks like is they get marketing emails right out of the way. They'll respond to anything their experience allows them to, even if it's just as simple as letting somebody know that we've received something and that we'll be getting back to them, answering frequently asked questions, answering lease questions, all that good stuff. And then we just have our virtual assistants copy and paste their own signature above the property manager's signature, so anybody that they're speaking with knows that they're talking to an assistant, not the actual property manager. Letters. Oh, and also when they're doing that, checking your inbox, if there's anything that's urgent, they will escalate via text message before it becomes a bigger issue, so our property managers know what to get started with up front when they get to the office. Letters and notices. We use a company called letterstream.com, which is a virtual post office where we just upload our templates, fill them out, select which style mail we'd like it to go through US postage, whether it be standard, certified, anything like that. Then we just file the tracking numbers electronically. Maintenance coordination, we already covered that. If it's going to be an independent role without escalation, we'll just need somebody with the appropriate experience. Turnover management. So when we have a virtual assistant manage our turnover process, this is what it looks like. So as we give our virtual assistant a list of renewals, non-renewals, and rent increases to send out and follow up till we get signatures back. Then once we have our move outs scheduled, she schedules our field agent to go out on the day that the keys are surrendered to do a move out inspection. That move out inspection is pretty simple. The field agent hits record on his cell phone as he's walking in and does a video inspection. He's simply dictating anything that he's noticing and actions that he'd like the VA to take. So dictating anything like a smoke or pet odor as he walks into the door. If he sees paint that needs to be touched up, he'll make sure he captures that in the video. And if he has a specific vendor that he'd like to get a quote, he'll just mention it as he's going through the video. He'll also be sure to get full views of every room and to make sure that he gets all the serial numbers on appliances and etc. The virtual assistant will then review the move-in video next to the move-out video, and will let the property manager know of anything they may have missed, rooms being different colors, different fixtures, anything of that nature. And then we'll also compare serial numbers of appliances that came in versus, were there when they got there versus were there when they left. And then the virtual assistant will go ahead and start gathering quotes and start preliminary conversations with the owners regarding turnover costs. For accounting, payables and receivables, any of our VAs can do that. If we want to fully reconcile books, that is a special placement. We'll need somebody with the proper QuickBooks or otherwise experience to make sure they can do that for you. And then follow-ups and reminders for everyone. So I have an executive assistant that sits in with me on all of my sales meetings and takes notes and helps me with some follow-ups. He also sits in with me on all of my internal departmental meetings as well. When I'm delegating any tasks to any member of our team, he's taking that down in that department's master to-do list with who I assigned it to and when the due date is. If we start approaching the due date without updates, he will take it upon himself to go ahead and follow up looking for those updates. If he doesn't get updates in a timely manner, he brings that to my attention. And at that point, I can decide, oh, you know what, we had a priority shift, no worries. Or, you know what, maybe this is a bandwidth issue. Let's get this person some help. Or maybe we have a performance issue we need to address. But it stops anything from falling off of our to-do list involuntarily and lets us be realistic with the goals that we set for our organization.